Hi, this is Rachel Israel with STEM News and Global World Report. We have breaking news that will have a huge impact on the global scene in the very near future. Let's take a look at what's going on around the world.
Federal immigration agents and their private contractors are facing a new reality, a significant shift in the legal landscape that directly impacts their actions and decisions. Personal accountability for illegal actions is no longer a distant threat, but an immediate and tangible consequence. The days of hiding behind a badge, uniform, or contract are ending. The shield of immunity is dissolving. Agents can now be sued directly for their actions in both state and federal court. They can even be criminally charged for misconduct, facing potential jail time and a permanent criminal record. Violating rights during enforcement actions, like entering homes without valid warrants or probable cause, a fundamental violation of the Fourth Amendment, or using excessive force during arrests or detentions, actions that can result in serious injury or even death. Such actions can lead to personal financial ruin through legal fees, settlements, and judgments, and even jail time, depending on the severity and nature of the misconduct. Civil lawsuits are on the rise across the country, targeting agents' personal assets, future earnings, and overall financial security. The legal landscape is shifting dramatically, creating a new era of accountability, with public and legal consensus demanding consequences for abuses of power, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of who gave the order or what the perceived justification might be. Agents paid per arrest, or those operating under quota systems, face extra scrutiny from the courts and the public, as these incentives often lead to constitutional violations and abuses of power, undermining the principles of justice. The message is clear and unequivocal. Unchecked authority and impunity are over, replaced by a system of checks and balances. And strict personal accountability has finally arrived, ushering in a new era of responsible law enforcement. Just following orders is no defense for illegal acts history, and the courts have made that clear. Law enforcement officers are sworn to uphold the Constitution, not to obey unlawful commands. Kicking down doors without warrants or deceiving people into opening them are clear Fourth Amendment violations. Qualified immunity doesn't protect agents who break well-established laws. Ignorance is no excuse. When the law is obvious, personal liability is unavoidable. Agents must refuse illegal orders the chain of command won't shield them. Betting on political protection is a dangerous gamble. The law's memory is long. The defense of just following orders has failed before and will fail again. Federal law punishes agents who abuse their power, recognizing the potential for overreach when individuals are granted authority by the state. Using authority to violate rights is a crime under 18 U.S.C. 242. This statute specifically addresses the deprivation of rights under color of law, ensuring that those acting in an official capacity are held accountable for their actions. Excessive force, in particular, is a common area of concern, or unlawful detention, where individuals are held without proper cause or due process, are serious violations. Such actions can lead to federal prosecution and significant prison time, reflecting the gravity of these offenses. Agents are also subject to state laws, meaning they must adhere to both federal and state regulations. If their actions would be a crime locally, regardless of their federal role, federal status won't protect them from facing charges and potential penalties under state law. The Posse Comitatus Act bars military involvement in civilian law enforcement, preventing the use of the military for domestic policing purposes, reinforcing the separation of powers and ensuring civilian control over law enforcement. Many of these laws are strict liability offenses, meaning that certain elements must be proven. In these cases, intent doesn't matter. Only the illegal act itself needs to be demonstrated to establish guilt. Excuses like, "I didn't know," or "I didn't mean to," simply won't hold up in court as a valid defense. Agents are expected to know the law and are held to a high standard of legal understanding. The burden is on officers to act within their authority, ensuring they are fully aware of the legal boundaries of their actions. These standards exist to protect the public from abuse of power, safeguarding individual liberties and maintaining the integrity of the justice system. Even if federal prosecution falters or ultimately fails to materialize, leaving some feeling that justice hasn't been fully served, state law offers a completely separate and distinct path to accountability. It's a crucial backstop, ensuring that potential abuses of power don't go unchecked. Presidential pardons, a power reserved for federal offenses, simply don't apply to state crimes. They have no bearing whatsoever on state-level legal proceedings. This means that agents can still face state charges for actions like unlawful detentions, regardless of any federal pardon they might receive. This includes impersonation of law enforcement officials or the use of excessive force during an arrest or detention. States like California, known for their robust legal protections, and New York, with its own set of stringent regulations, are increasingly ready and willing to prosecute aggressive or deceptive enforcement tactics that violate their state laws. Civil lawsuits brought under state laws, such as California's Bain Act, which protects against civil rights violations, can quickly devastate agents financially, potentially leading to significant legal bills and even bankruptcy. Unlawful arrests conducted without proper cause or the unjustified use of force can lead to both criminal prosecution and substantial civil penalties at the state level, creating a dual threat. Simply holding federal status or a badge doesn't excuse anyone from breaking state laws. Every single step taken during an investigation or enforcement action must be legally sound and compliant with state regulations. Agents risk facing serious criminal charges and potentially facing personal financial ruin if they overstep their authority or disregard established legal boundaries. State-level accountability is a very real and significant factor, and it's a legal reality that's here to stay, demanding careful adherence to the law. Recent prosecutions of high-profile officials show that no one is above the law. Political connections and changing administrations won't shield agents from future investigations or charges. The statute of limitations means today's actions can be prosecuted years later. Ignorance and pressure from superiors are no defense. Federal and state laws are ready to hold individuals responsible. The risks are immense: criminal convictions, financial ruin, and lasting damage to families. The rule of law endures beyond politics. Constitutional rights are non-negotiable. For those who violate them, accountability is inevitable, and the warnings are louder than ever.
Join me as I dive into the wild world of ICE agents and take on the challenge of understanding the new personal liability laws that are coming their way. The role of ICE agents is crucial in enforcing immigration laws, but with the ever-changing socio-political landscape, they're under more scrutiny than ever. This increased attention has led to a growing concern about personal liability for these agents. Essentially, personal liability means that individual agents could be held accountable and face financial or even criminal consequences for their actions during enforcement operations. As ICE agents carry out their duties, they're required to make split-second decisions that can have significant impacts. A misstep, however small it may seem, can lead to allegations of misconduct. This could range from accusations of excessive force to improper handling of detainees. The potential for legal consequences looms large, and agents need to be aware that their actions, or inactions, can lead to personal repercussions. The Department of Homeland Security and ICE have policies in place to guide agents' actions, but these policies are often scrutinized and can change. When agents deviate from these guidelines, they expose themselves to potential liability. For instance, if an agent uses force that is deemed unnecessary, they could be sued personally for damages. The fear of being held personally accountable can affect agents' willingness to perform their duties, creating a challenging environment for them to operate in. The legal framework surrounding personal liability is complex and evolving. Recent court cases have set precedents that hold individual officers accountable for their actions. For example, lawsuits have successfully targeted agents for alleged misconduct, resulting in significant financial awards against them personally. This trend indicates a shift towards greater accountability at the individual level. In exploring this issue further, let's consider a significant case that has set a precedent. There have been instances where agents were held liable for actions taken during enforcement activities. One case that stands out involved an agent who was found responsible for the wrongful detention of an individual. The court ruled in favor of the plaintiff, awarding substantial damages. This case illustrates the potential financial risks agents face. The case also highlights changes in policies that affect how agents operate. For instance, new directives require agents to document their actions meticulously to protect themselves from potential liability. These changes reflect a broader effort to ensure accountability while also shielding agents from unjustified claims. The bottom line for ICE agents is clear: understanding the potential for personal liability is crucial. The stakes are high, with the possibility of financial loss, career damage, or even criminal charges. It's imperative for agents to stay informed about the laws and policies that govern their actions. If you're concerned about the evolving landscape of personal liability for law enforcement, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about these changes and their implications for ICE agents and law enforcement in general? Also, be sure to check out some of our related videos on law enforcement topics for more insights.
Well, that's the news for tonight. Thank you so much for continually supporting our content. If you did enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, and share this with your friends and family. I'm sure they would find it interesting as well. We're very excited to continue this journey with you. We thank you all for bringing certain stories to our attention, and for continually keeping us updated with certain events around the world.